Hey everybody, my name is Dave. I'm a solo developer working from scratch in the Rust programming language, and I built this game. It's called Stella Nova, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. It's on its way to Steam Next Fest. I'm really excited to be sharing the demo with you, and for this video, what I kind of want to do is give you an overview of all the features and cool stuff that I've built into this thing. I mean, it's chock full of it starts with a really awesome physics engine. I built the physics engine from scratch. It's a n-body gravity simulator. So we have tens of thousands of entities which are all independently orbiting at any given time. And this all runs, in a package that's less than 500 megabytes on disk. It's a custom rendering engine that I've built called Warp Core. And what it does kind of fundamentally, it does more creating a stable solar system. The first thing that it does is it procedurally generates a solar system for you. And then after that, it adds a colony into that solar system. I took the development really one step at a time. I began by really focusing hard on the physics and the physics of the interactions that are happening between these bodies. And then, only then, once the physics was really solid, did I narrow in and try to add a colony simulation on top of it, because I love colony simulators. That's my bread and butter. I've played so much RimWorld, it's a little bit embarrassing. I've played Civilization like nobody's business. During the pandemic, that was my day in, day out, was playing Civilization. Oh my God, the number of times that I've gone. The core of it is I love colony sims. So much so that I wanted to contribute one of my own. And I have a graphics programming background, and I figured why not start from scratch and build something really unique and different and fun. I really want this to be a fun, awesome experience that starts with exactly what you, the player, want. So, if you want any features, by the way, hop into our Discord. I'm reading it all the time. I wake up, I start reading Discord, and then I have it open in a window until I go to sleep. So, if you have any ideas or thoughts, or please let us know. We really want to know. So anyway, let me take you through the colony management system. So this is kind of the big surface interface that you have to control what's happening in the Stella Nova game. So what you have right now is just a very basic destroyed station to start with. So this is following the cataclysm. There's been a complete destruction of society. You are one of the only ships left. So right now you have a station that's really broken. It's only got a few materials on board. So I left you some iron, some copper, some platinum, and a whole bunch of food, so your colonists don't starve. That's a really important one. I gave you quite a bit of starting materials. But what do you do with these starting materials? What are they for? And the answer is they're for building. So for example, iron ingots are used for building walls. So you can construct walls using this. And effectively, what you'll do as you construct walls is you'll create these little storage spaces, kind of like chess in Minecraft in some ways. It's kind of a function that allows you to promote these process flows. And what I mean by that is you start with one ore, right? You start with the raw ores, and then you process them into ingots. And then from those ingots, you can process them into more advanced materials like alloys, such as bronze, aluminum wires, titanium alloys, glass. So I'll just start by producing a whole bunch of steel. And in order to get all of the raw materials that I need for steel, you see it says no input, and I'm missing a carbon brick. But I unfortunately don't have any carbon on board. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to search. So I'm going to assign a searcher to Terraorm. Let's go see what Terram's up to. And while Terram's going to be searching around, so every time that Terram comes to an undiscovered asteroid, Terran is going to take a look at it, analyze it, hard sci-fi type things. Terran's going to take a look at it, analyze it, and make sure that what its chemical contents are. And then after its chemical contents have been analyzed, Terran will be able to pick it up from the asteroid field via the collect behavior. Right now, Terran is resting, so that's what eventually citizens will run out of energy, and then eventually they rest. But now Terran is getting back to work. And look at that. Terran has already found a good bit of carbon for us. And each individual element that we find here is denoted by its chemical symbol. I wanted to stick pretty closely to hard sci-fi. I think it's way more satisfying, the kind of inspirations that I have for, in film for building something like this are, The Martian or Interstellar or like Project Hail Mary. These kind of films are, really, really good at telling excellent stories, but also grounding themselves really well in hard science. And that's what I really wanted to do here is, I built this cool physics engine where you can dilate the flow of time and change how quickly things happen. There needs to be kind of an underlying story and a mechanic. And I think having a station that you need to bring back from the brink of collapse is, that kind of indomitable human spirit story. It's just really attractive and fun. And I really like telling that kind of story. So Taryn's doing a whole bunch of searching around the asteroid field while I pontificate how much I like different types of science fiction artwork. And what we can do in the meantime, we've got a couple of people who have come to visit. We have a couple of refugees. So we have Anwen Zaid, who is visiting. This is Anwen Zaid calling from the fragile dawn, passing through your system as we speak. I don't need supplies or anywhere to dock. I just need a favor. I need your relay antenna. 5 minutes. I want to send a message to someone I lost. Your station has the range to reach the right sector. This message is short. It just says I'm still going, but I didn't stop. So, it's a refugee who is, suffering from the same thing that you are. It's a cataclysm that has completely destroyed and wiped out an entire civilization. She's looking for help. So Anwen says, actually, maybe I'll stay a while if you'll have me, and I'll fulfill her request. And she sends her message on. Message sent. I think I'll stay, if that's still all right. I don't have anywhere else to go. That's very sweet. I'm glad she's sticking around, because now she's going to help us out. And Penelope as well. Penelope doesn't have a story as filled in yet. That's coming soon in the early access release. Just stay tuned. Now, what we've created is a small colony. Now we have 3 different people who are willing to help us. And, 3 is going to make us a much more efficient colony than 1. So right now, what Turn is assigned to is searching, to collecting. And so if we assign them all to search, now they're going to search the asteroid field in tandem at 3 times the speed that they would have searched before. Overall, they're going to have more resources to bring back to this colony and to start building something really, really amazing out of it. So let's go ahead and assign them all to collect and have them start bringing back all these nice resources that we need. So there they go. So all you really have to do with your colonists is wonderful. You just have to kind of autonomously assign them, and then they will attend to whatever work that they can see within their distance. So I really like having, I don't know, it feels kind of like a digital terrarium at some level. I really like the way that the kind of, the asteroids kind of float by. I'm a really big fan. I keep saltwater aquariums in my free time. I have a little, I don't know if you can see it back there. I have a little coral reef tank that I can keep. I love just anything having to do with colonies. It's really, I find it really inspirational. Anyway, that's totally besides the point, and I should stick to the gameplay. What we have here now is we finally found that collection of carbon that we need. So let's go ahead and put the carbon up in the top left corner, because things will process sequentially. And then we'll assign Penelope here to smelting, because she has a really high smelting skill. She already has a level 5 smelting skill coming in. It's pretty good. So Penelope is going to start processing these ores in order. So you'll see Penelope starts with the top left corner, and then she works her way down. And now we actually have the carbon bricks that we need in order to start processing steel. So if we assign Anwen to processing steel and assign this zone, look at that. She starts processing a whole bunch of steel for us. And that's really helpful, because we're going to need a whole bunch of steel in order to make a new colony core. So I'll get down to that in a second, but let's take a look. We just got a new colonist inbound. Let's see, Naria Yang. She just wants an iron ingot and a copper ingot. Well, yeah, we got plenty of those. Let's check it in our materials panel. Yeah, I think we can probably afford that. Yeah, cool. All right, now Maria joins us. I'm so pretty excited to have her on board. Let's just go ahead and I don't know. I don't love the look of the station right now. Let's go ahead and, well, let's start by feeding our colonists. like patch up these walls. So we have a whole bunch of food processors down here, these greenhouses. They currently are just kind of open to space. And, you know, going for that whole hard sci-fi angle, I didn't really want you to be able to, you know, just jettison food into space. You know, kind of like Watney's potatoes. You know, it's a non-conducive growing conditions. So I'm going to assign a couple of people to build here so that they get started on sealing off our greenhouses. And look at that. They just get straight to work. Let's assign a couple more people. You know, they don't necessarily need to be doing all this stuff. Let's even speed up the flow of time. Let's speed it up to the maximum and watch really good work. Oh, we've got another guy inbound. Let's see. Oh, you just want some food? We got you, man. No problem. Would you like to build? Yeah, I bet you would. Let's see, let's throw down some walls. Let's throw down some walls here. Yeah, I try to go for more of like a sort of Prometheus or like, you know, Ridley Scott inspired design. You know, I really like the work of like H.R. Geiger. So I try to go with those kind of like, you know, big, like imposing pillars and those sort of things. I really like, you know, well, yeah, and that's just my kind of building style, but you know, I want everybody to have creative freedom to build however they like. And I think it's, I don't know, I just think it's really cool to watch them just kind of go to town. But I'm running out of iron, so I'm gonna have to really do something about that quickly. Let's assign some collectors to, or actually we have a whole bunch of iron in stores. Let's just we'll assign Penelope. She's really good at processing. Terran's actually even better at processing. Let's get him. And then we'll assign Penelope to collecting. We'll assign her priorities to iron so they get iron first. You can kind of click this little star and then hit iron, and then it'll automatically make their priorities to iron here. Let's go ahead and speed up time so that we can like blow through this construction project. It's a really, really big one. Yeah, something I tried to really focus on in the structural elements. You know, I wanted to feel like I've played so much RimWorld over the years. Like I feel like it's just so intuitive to me to build RimWorld style. Like the room building rules and kind of being able to see some of the dimensions of what you're building, I think is really useful from a user experience perspective. I don't know. I've tried to design it, you know, I haven't really picked any one game. I've more tried to pick selections of things that I like from a lot of different games in order to build kind of a more unique experience. I'm really excited that it features a lot of ideas from RimWorld, but it also features ideas from Factorio and promoting process flows and kind of like Kerbal Space Program, and that you can do these interplanetary travel maneuvers, and that it's all, you know, based on real orbital physics. You know, what you're doing here really is just plotting Hohmann transfers, but we can get to that in a second while we're talking about fuel manufacturing. So I'll go ahead and enclose some more walls. Let them keep getting to work here. You know, the citizens will have individual social interactions with one another. Like, for example, Nari and Tarn collaborated, and so they both feel a little more positively about each other. That means that, you know, they'll work a little bit faster in their next work cycle. And yeah, and there's a whole bunch of, I could get into it really, really deeply, but I don't think I have time for this particular overview. Maybe I'll publish another one if you guys are interested in hearing more about me talk about Stella Nova, because I'm always happy to talk about it. So anyway, we can run back to the crew management panel, because we actually have managed to enclose our greenhouse here, and it's going to be really important that we start getting some food. So let's go ahead and assign our zone. So this is a zone filter, kind of works functionally similar to the way that the RimWorld zone filters work. So now we finally have some food growing, and well, my colonists aren't going to starve to death, and I'm really, really excited about that. I used to have an issue. There was a long time ago. There was plenty of bugs where colonists would just starve and then, you know, float out into space, which I felt was probably bad for the demo. So I made sure to work really, really hard on making sure they have enough food to survive. But eventually they will starve. So just keep an eye out. You know, you can't run on the tiny, meager food supplies I've given you for forever. You got to start growing your own potatoes. So this is my game, Stella Nova. thank you so much for watching up until now. If you stuck around and watched me talk about all the cool features in my game, then yeah, I really, really appreciate you being here and supporting me through this journey. It's really fun to build your own engine, but it's really hard. And it's, I don't really ever strive to do easy things though. and and I find that, this has been so much fun, and I've found so many different avenues to explore my own creativity and connect with the community. So, thank you to everybody who's watching now, and thank you so much to the great community that's coming for us. And I want this to be a dense universe. I want it to be densely packed. I work on this every day, 16 hours a day, probably from before the time my coffee gets poured in the morning to the time that I fall asleep at night. I'm pounding the pavement, making this happen. I want this to be an extremely dense, rich experience. I want it to be, I want it to be full, and I want it to be driven by the community. I want it to be driven by you guys. I want you to tell me what you like about it, what you don't like about it, and I want to listen. I want to hear what you have to say about the game, because I want to build something that you want just as much as I want to build something that I want. So anyway, thank you so much. That's just my little spiel about how I think about game design, but I really do mean it. So thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for watching me play my game. I can't wait to keep talking to you guys. It's really cool to, I don't know, have a little stream. So no, I'll talk to you guys later. So take care, and here's just telling